Hi guys, so welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this video or in this project management course, we're gonna discuss about the project management from the basics. For the project management, what all the basics is in the project management. So this course is related about the project management. It's just in a small course for anyone who just aspire to learn about the project management. In this course, we're gonna talk about the project management, or like what all the steps are included. Just we're gonna take in a short description about it, what exactly mean that, and at the end we'll be having a small quiz based upon the project management course. So I hope you all are interested in this. So let's get started with this. So before moving ahead, I just wanted to tell you that please do like, share, and subscribe my channel for more videos and the tutorials on the project management or the management related topics. So you can also suggest me in the comment section for which topics you are most interested in, and I can create a short video on that. Thank you so much for listening. So, let's get started with this project management code. So, it's going to be in a 1 hour code. So, within a 1 hour, we'll be covering all the major steps of what all the required in the project management. So, let's get started with this. Okay. I hope all you can see my screen. This is the course that I created from the course AI.co, which already I had in a video. So you can just check out how to create a course on any topic using within a 10 minutes. I just created the course from that only. So let's get started. So first of all, project management. So in this video, we're gonna learn the essential skills to effectively manage the project. So let's get started. First taking an overview of it, of the course. So this course provides a comprehensive introduction to the project management, covering both theoretical concepts and the practical applications. Participants will learn about the entire project lifecycle from initiation and planning to execution, monitoring, control, and the closure. The course will also cover key project management tools and techniques, including risk assessment, stakeholder analysis, and the project scheduling. Yeah. So let's move on to the next step, which is the project initiation and planning. So this would be the first step in any project. So we're gonna take a look about it, what exactly project initiation and planning is. So project initiation and planning are the critical phases in the project management life cycle. It is during this phase the project manager define the objectives, scope, and the requirement of the project. They also identify the uh, stakeholders, create a risk management plan, and develop a detailed project schedule. Okay, so the very first that comes in the initiation or the project initiation and the planning is defining the project objectives. The first step in the project initiation is to define the project objectives. This involves identifying what the project aims to accomplish as well as expected benefits. The project objectives should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So it's when a smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Yeah. So once the objectives are defined, they need to be communicated clearly to all stakeholders. So we are just done with the one sub point of the initiation. The second thing is we need to do an initiation phase is defining the project scope. So for defining the project scope, you can also have a document called SOW, which means the statement of work. So next, the project manager needs to define the project scope, and the scope defines what the project will and will not include. Yeah, this is what our SOW tells what is actually uh, communicated and what exactly we were doing and what we used to build based upon that and used to do the project closure. A well-defined scope ensures that the project team knows exactly what needs to be delivered and what they don't. The scope also helps manage stakeholder expectation and minimizes scope creep. I already created a video on the scope creep, so you can just check out that video also what exactly the scope creep is. So I'm not digging into much because it's a wider topic. So you can just take a look over there in that video. Next, move on to the third subcategory or the third subpoint as identifying the stakeholders. So another important aspect of the project initiation is identifying stakeholders. These are the individuals or the groups who have an interest in the project and can be affected by it. Stakeholders may include project sponsors, customers, end users, regulators, suppliers, and others. It is essential to identify stakeholders early in the project and understand their needs and expectations. Yeah. Next thing is the fourth is creating a risk management plan. So there is one more important point that comes into the picture, that why there is a need of a risk management plan, or what exactly first we have to understand what is risk management, and then we have to understand why there is a need of a risk management plan. Risk management is nothing but an important part of project planning. The risk management plan identifies the potential risks and outlines how they will be managed throughout the project. The plan should include risk assessment, risk response planning, and risk monitoring and control. By creating a comprehensive risk management plan, which managers can minimize the impact of our project risks on the project. So that's why there is a need of that. If we are running a project and there is a risk, so there is a need. Actually, there is a need of a risk management plan. Yeah. So the last thing is we have to develop a project schedule. This is very important in the initiation phase. So without a project schedule, a project cannot be having any end date. But as a project manager, we have to create that schedule and we should be having an end date. Only then we are able to deliver our project. So finally, the project managers need to develop a detailed schedule. This involves breaking down the project into the smaller tasks and estimating the time required for each task. The project schedule should start and end dates for each task as well as the dependencies between the tasks. It is also important to consider the resource availability when developing the project schedule. So, if you're just end with that, so let me just conclude the project initiation and planning. So, in conclusion, the project initiation and planning are the critical phases in the project management lifecycle. By defining the project scopes and objectives, identifying stakeholders, creating a risk management plan, and developing a detailed schedule, project managers can set their projects for their success. It is important to remember that the project initiation and the planning are ongoing processes. The project managers must be prepared to adapt and adjust the plans as necessary throughout the project. Let's move on to the next phase, which is very critical and important. So the first one is also very important and critical, but if there is an idea that can be captured into the project initiation and the planning phase, but to execute and monitor, that is the most critical aspect in that. So if you would call us that which contains the more weightage, so the project execution and the monitor consider the most of the weightage of the project. So let's learn about this, what exactly the project execution and monitoring is, and how it can help us to make a success of any project. So the project execution and monitoring. So these are the critical phases in the project management life cycle. So once the project plan has been developed, it's the time to put it into the action. This involves managing resources, implementing the project plan, and monitoring progress to ensure that the project stays on track. The very first step, or it's a critical step that comes into the picture. The very first thing is managing resources. The first step in the project execution is to manage resources. This includes allocating tasks to the team members, managing their workloads, and ensure that they have the resources they need to complete their task. It's crucial to communicate clearly with team members and stakeholders to ensure that everyone understands their roles and responsibilities. Second thing is implementing the project plan. So if you remember that in the initiation we having a step, the last step called the project schedule. So these were two are the interrelated one. So once the resources has been allocated, is the time to start implementing the project plan. Yeah, this involves executing the task according to the project schedule and ensuring that each task is completed on time and within the budget. Project managers must also monitor the quality of work to ensure that it meets the expected standards. The third thing that comes into the picture is monitoring progress. So it's an essential to monitor the progress throughout the project to ensure that it stays on track. This involves tracking the project metrics such as the cost, schedule, and scope. Project managers must also identify any potential issues or risks that could impact the project and take the proactive steps to address them. Next thing that comes into the picture is communicating progress. Communicating progress. So it's an effective communication is critical during the project execution and monitoring. Project managers should provide the regular updates to the stakeholders on project progress, including any issues that arise. They should also communicate any changes to the project plan and ensure that stakeholders are aware of how those changes will impact the project. Next thing is managing changes. So changes are inevitable part of any project. Project managers must be prepared to manage changes effectively while ensuring that the project stays on track. This involves evaluating the change requests, assessing their impact on the project, and making the necessary adjustment to the project plan. Yeah. So actually, it's a very critical. So let me just conclude the project execution and monitoring. So in conclusion, the project execution and the monitoring are the critical phases in the project management lifecycle. By effectively managing resources, implementing the project plan, monitoring progress, communicating progress to the stakeholders, and managing changes, and the project managers can ensure that their project stays on track. It's important to remember that the project execution and the monitoring are the ongoing processes, and the project managers must be prepare to adapt and adjust their plans as necessary throughout the project. Yeah. So the third thing is the project closure and the evaluation. So the project closure, as you can see that it's a project closure and the evaluation. So the project closure, what exactly the project closure and the evaluation mean? So it just the project comes into the final phase of its into the deliverable phase. So some the kind of a final phase that we get into the, and we have to um, be very particular about the things what we have in the SOW, what we have delivered, what we planned, are we planned on time, so what's the cost at the final we are getting like that. We have to taken a look in this phase. So it's a very important. So each and every step is very important and critical. But the most important is the execution and the monitoring is the most important and the more weightage than the other steps. Yeah. Yeah, I know that the first step there isn't a dependency on the second, and the second is having a dependency on the third. I know that, but still, the execution is the most important thing in any project. Yeah. So let's talk about the project closure and the evaluation. So the project closure and the evaluation are the final phases in the project management lifecycle. During this phase, project manager will wrap up the project and evaluate its success. Yeah. The goal of the project closure is to ensure that all the project deliverables have been completed, all the stakeholders are satisfied, and all the resources has been released. So let's take into the sub point basis and we'll discuss one on one step how we have to proceed in that case. The first thing or the first point is the deliverable acceptance. The first step in the project closure is to ensure that all project deliverables have been completed and accepted by the stakeholders. This involves verifying that each deliverable meets the required specification and that any outstanding issues have been addressed. Once all deliverables has been accepted, the project can move to the next stage. Yeah. This is accepted. It's a very basic and a simple point. Next thing is resource release. So once all the project deliverables has been accepted, it's the time to release the resources that will be allocated to the project. So this involves release the team members from the roles and responsibilities and returning any equipment or the material that was used during the project. Simple. Third thing is the lesson learned, very important. The next step in the project closure is to conduct a lesson learn session. So generally we used to do it with the client servicing team, and this involves gathering the feedback from team members and the stakeholders to identify that mm, what worked well during the project and what could be improved in the further or in the future projects. The lesson learn session is an important opportunity for project managers to gain insights into how they can improve their project management skills. Yeah. Next is the final report. So, finally, the project manager should prepare a final report summarizing the project's outcomes and highlighting any significant achievements. The report should include details on the project scope, objective, budget, schedule, and any other relevant information. The report should also summarize the lesson learned from the project and provide the recommendation for the future projects. Project evaluation. So, project evaluation is the process of assessing the success of the project. This involves comparing the actual results of the project with the planned results, evaluating the project performance against the key metrics, and identifying the areas where the improvement can be made. Another thing is the benefits realization. Yeah. So benefits realization is a critical component of the project evaluation. It involves assessing whether the project has achieved its intended benefits and identifying any areas where the additional benefits can be realized. How it can be achieved? Conducting through the benefits realization analysis. It can be through a survey also, so the project managers can demonstrate the value of the project. So it's in a kind of a vanity survey like thing. So so once the project is done, so we can share a survey. How did they feel about it? Does there is an improvement area? So what all the rating we had, what all the low rating areas will be having, like that we can capture the information from the client servicing team or from the client, so that we can just improve our project management skills, or if there is any technical challenge that we are facing, so how we deal with them. So actually the thing is that it creates an trust on the client, so which is the most important to us. Yeah. So the project managers can demonstrate the value of the project to the stakeholders and identify the opportunities for the future projects. Yeah. Next thing is the project closure checklist, to ensure that all the necessary steps are completed during the project closure. Project manager should use a project closure checklist. The checklist should include the tasks such as verifying deliverables acceptance, releasing resources, conducting a lesson learned session, preparing a final report, and conducting a project evaluation. So let me just conclude this point. It's a very important point. So the project closure and the evaluation. So in conclusion of the project closure and the evaluation are critical phases in the project management lifecycle, ensuring that all the project deliverables has been completed and accepted, releasing resources, conducting a lesson learn session, preparing a final report, and conducting project evaluation. Project managers can wrap up their projects effectively and learn valuable insights. It's important to remember that the project closure and the evaluation are ongoing process, and the project managers must be prepared to adapt and adjust their plans as necessary throughout the project. Next thing is the wrap up stage. So let's review what we have just seen so far. The wrap up in the conclusion of the project initiation. Yeah, let me just wrap up all of these three steps because it's in a wrap up stage, and after that we'll be having a quiz. So let me just wrap up all the. So we'll just take a look on the conclusion itself, and that's it we need to do on this step. So, in the conclusion, the project initiation and the planning are the critical phases. Project management life cycle, defining the project scope and objectives, identifying stakeholders, and creating a risk management plan, developing a detailed project schedule. The project managers can set their projects up for success. It is important to remember that the project initiation and planning are the ongoing processes, and the project managers must be prepared to adapt and adjust their plans as necessary throughout the projects. So the first step will be having project initiation and planning. The next step is project execution and monitoring. So in conclusion to that, these are the critical phases in the project management lifecycle. By effectively managing resources, implementing the project plan, monitoring progress, communicating progress to the stakeholders, and managing changes, project managers can ensure that their projects stay on track. It's important to remember that project execution and the monitoring are ongoing processes, and the project managers must be prepared to adapt and adjust their plans as necessary throughout the project. Yeah. Next thing is regarding the project closure and the evaluation. So in conclusion to this, so it's a critical phase, not it's a critical step in the project management life cycle as we discussed so far. So by ensuring that all the project deliverables has been completed and they must be accepted, we have to release the resources, connecting the listen, learn session with our clients or the client sourcing team to whom we are coordinating for the project, and we have to prepare a final report and conducting a project evaluation. The project managers can wrap up their projects effectively and learn valuable insights. It is important to remember that the project closure and the evaluation are the ongoing processes. The project managers must be prepared to adapt and adjust their plans as necessary throughout the project. Yeah, so I'm just done with this code. So let's move on to the quiz. So it's an interesting quiz that we'll be having. So let's check out the knowledge what we have gained in the above steps: the initiation, the execution, the closure, the wrap up. Okay, so it's the quiz. So let me just submit it. So I just completed this codes. So go to the conclusion. So it was saying that congratulations on completing this course. You are taking important steps in unlocking your full potential. Completing this course is not just acquiring knowledge, but it is also putting the knowledge into the practice and making a positive impact on the world around you. Yeah. So let's move on to the quiz. Where is the quiz? Actually, the quiz is not appearing due to some reason. Let me just check it quickly. What exactly is happening? So, guys, I think the quiz is not available at right that the moment, but I don't know what's the problem. It is not loaded properly or like that. So there might be a technical issue with this website. So sorry for that for the quiz. So I hope you learned a lot of things today. So it's the not just on basics on the project management. So I hope you all learned about the project management. So it's the basics of a project management. So please like, share, and subscribe my YouTube channel for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching.